How's it going, everybody? If you would for me, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm gonna come and just kind of been busy with a lot of stuff recently, so I haven't been putting out reviews as frequently. But I probably will here soon. Once I get things on track, you'll probably see more. You'll see more reviews frequently from me. So just like, comment, subscribe. You'd see some really informative movie reviews. So the TV show I'm actually going to be reviewing here is Love and Death. Stars Elizabeth Olsen. Elizabeth Olsen as Katie Montgomery, Lily Rabe as Betty Gore, Jesse Plemons as Betty Gore's husband, Alan Gore, and also Kristen Ritter, Kristen Ritter as who's her friend's name in that show? Because I can't remember. She played Sherry Cleckler. So this show pretty much this is based on a true story. It's a love triangle, and this whole love triangle basically gets violent. It's two people basically they're having issues in their marriages, and then a really deadly affair ensues, and gets pretty. And then somebody dies horrifically. And like I said, this is based on a true story that took place back in 1980, I believe. So the show takes the whole show pretty much takes place in 1980 up into the events leading up into the horrific murder. So this takes place in, I think it's Wiley, Texas, and I will say I like it's one thing I like about the show is I do like the acting down the board. I think everybody here is good. I mean, of course, you guys know Elizabeth Olsen. She's Scarlet Witch in the Marvel series. Even before then, I've seen her in a lot of independent films. I think Silent House was one. She's played in other stuff too. Other independent stuff that I've seen prior to her, her playing Scarlet Witch in, the Marvel, the MCU. And then, of course, you have Jesse Plemons. I've seen him in a lot of stuff as well too. And I remember, I think Lily Rabe was, if I recall, she was in American Horror Story Season 2 Asylum. I think that's the last time I've seen her. She's probably been in some other stuff too, but that's just where I remember her from. She was the young nun that just started, so, now she's playing a mom, and here, Betty Gore. And so this show, like, the thing about it that I noticed about that I kind of liked was like, because these are all church people. I think like Katie Montgomery, I think she's like in a church choir. Her husband is also involved in the church, and like they are not having a good marriage. Like, pretty much like her husband is just not satisfied sexually by her, so she starts feeling like she's just not attracting him, or she's not attractive to him anymore. And then eventually craziness ensues. This movie, and I think the show is, like I said, I really like the performances. I really like how everybody portrays their character. The only character I didn't really care for, to be honest with you, um, was Kristen Ritter's character. I just felt like for that to, this is Jessica Jones. She plays Jessica Jones, and I just feel like an actress that notable. I mean, she has a pretty forgettable role in this. Like, honestly, anybody could play her part. I just don't understand why you would put Kristen Ritter um, as that type of character. She's just like the best friend that Katie Montgomery confides in, and she just talks to her about art. They're basically gossip girls on the phone. That's pretty much all she is throughout the whole show. Um, so I feel like she was the one character that was kind of wasted. Um, and it's like she's barely in the show, and then like when she even shows up, she doesn't really do much. Uh, so I just this it was just this show has some pretty interesting parts too. Um, there are moments where I was really intrigued with it, and I actually looked up the story to it. If I have any complaints with this show, honestly, um, I just don't think I don't think this should have been. Also, I'm sorry. Get into the issues I had with it before I even do that too. I did like some of the music in here. It says, of course, it takes place in the '80s, so you get a lot of late to mid to late '70s music. Um, Even older music than that too. The opening, the opening credits of this show, they play Nina Simone's "Misunderstood," and right before they tell you, the opening, the opening of the show, they tell you this is a true story, because it is. It is definitely a true story. Like I said, this really happened. But I just feel like so. This is what I say about movies that say based on a true story. Um, I mean, and while that is true, it's that's all it kind of is based on a true story. I don't know how much of this is actually true. Like I said, because this story is new to me, and I know I watch a lot of crime shows and stuff, but I just didn't know anything about the Betty Gore, Candy Montgomery um, thing, other than there was another show on Hulu. It's called Candy, but another actress plays Candy Montgomery. It's Jessica Biel, I think, plays Candy in that show, and I still have yet to see that because I didn't know what Candy was even about. I just heard about the Hulu show. But so that was my. I went down a tangent, but like this is like I said, this is pretty much a show that I think only works as a documentary. Um, my big issue with this show, my biggest gripe with this show, is it's just too long. Like does this have to be a set? So you're watching. This is a 7 episode show. I mean, each episode is like an hour long. Every episode is an hour at least. I think there's a couple like 46-minute ones or 45-minute ones, but mostly the episodes are like an hour. Uh, and that's the thing too. This was a little this wasn't that interesting at times. This show just never. I never once watched an episode of this and was like, man, I have to really go see the next episode. I actually took my time watching this show. It's got moments where it just drags, man. Like this show gets boring sometimes. It's boring. Uh, like other than maybe the shocking moments here and there, it's either boring or it's like you kind of know where the show is going, especially if you know the story. Um, which I feel you can go on like a YouTube channel and get this entire story in like 15 minutes. This is asking you to sit there for 7 hours to get this entire story. And if you want to see the Betty Gore or Candy Montgomery story or whatever, again, watch a YouTube video. There's crime shows that are like 10, 15 minutes on YouTube, and I'm pretty sure this is one of them. I just don't think I don't think this warrants to be a 7 hour TV show. You know, again, like this, like a lot of this show was a real chore to get through. Like again, I admired the dialogue and the characters and stuff like that, but I just think it's because the actors are so good. There's also the guy who plays the preacher in here too. I thought he was pretty good. I actually liked his character. He's just like he, I won't ruin his character. You just gotta watch it, man. It's he is a rather he's the most vulgar preacher I've ever watched on the screen. He is vulgar. He doesn't care neither. He lets people know he doesn't care. Uh, so I don't know, man. Like I said, I like the characters in here. I like the acting, the writing. There's moments where, like I said, it's got really good moments in it, but that's about as far as it goes. They're just really good moments. Um, but the show itself is, I don't think it's worth it. Yeah, I don't think the show is. I don't think the show is worth watching for 7 hours. Uh, I'd advise you to like. I went and I read the story, and it took me 10 minutes to read everything that this was about. So I mean, like and honestly, this is a true crime story, but you can honestly get it anywhere. So like the music, characters, actors, the directing, like the show looks like there was a lot of money put behind it too. So it looks really neat. Uh, Other than that, I just don't. I Me personally, I feel like if you have not seen the show, I don't think it's worth your time. Like I said, if you really want to know about the Betty Gore story or whatever, just go to a YouTube video where they do like they give you a quick overview of what the story was about. You're still gonna get the same amount of information out of it watching it that way than if you were to sit here and just waste your time watching a 7 hour show. Especially after a while, you kind of know where it's going, and you're just kind of waiting for it to happen to go like, hurry up, get to it, let's get to it, let's wrap this up. It's too long. um, so yeah, that's what I said too. That's why it took me so long to actually get to reviewing this movie because it was a chore to get through this show, um, in some ways. So. Uh, and I also enjoy the fact that they put Jessica Jones and Scarlet Witch on the screen at the same time. This is probably one of those few times where you'll see those two Marvel actors or actresses show up together. So I don't know, man. It's like I said, this show is fine. Again, if you liked it, yeah, like I said, and you might not even agree with me. If you watch the show, you might actually really like this show. Um, I'm just, I'm just not one of those people that's kind of. I'm not really fooled by the based on a true story thing. I mean, that's cool if it is a true story. And I would like for people to Hollywood keep putting that label on because I think that's fascinating that this is something that really happened and we're watching it being reenacted by actors. I just feel like if you're gonna if you're gonna do that, at least put some effort into it. Don't just try to write off the fact that it's based on a true story. And in some ways, I feel like that's what this show's kind of doing. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give my rating on it. This is gonna be a low recommend for me. This is easily a low recommend. Like it's fine. Again, if you're really that curious and you actually come out liking it, that's cool too. I just don't. I wasn't that interested in it. Um, Even by episode 3, I was kind of wait. it took episode 3. At that point, I was just ready for it to be over. So I think that's about as far as you get into it before you start to realize that's what this show. You pretty much know what the show has to offer at that point. So yeah, low recommend. So again, if you like this, if you like my review or hate my review, I know some of you probably hate my review or like my review, whatever. Just comment below, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you in the next review. And that was my review for Love and Death. And I'll see you on the next video.